All right. So for those of you familiar with the history of this program, it is pretty rare that we bring guests on back-to-back weeks. But you know what? The people demanded it. The MMA fighting staff demanded it. Our producer, Casey Lyden, demanded it. So we got to give the people what they want. Let us say hello once again to Danny Sabatello, who went into Mohegan Sun Arena at Bellator 259 on less than a week's notice and dominated. Brett Johns swept the scorecards and put the entire bantamweight division on notice. Danny, congratulations. How are you, man?
Thanks, man. Doing fucking great. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You're looking like a couple Billy right now with the shades on. How you feeling, man? It's been a few days. You let it all digest, but something tells me that you didn't really have to digest much because you knew this was going to happen. You went in there and did exactly what you said you were going to do. How does it all feel a few days later?
Yeah, it all feels good. I think it's all kind of sunken in now. I've always dreamt of doing that and putting on a performance like that under the circumstances that happened and all that. But to go out there and actually execute that game plan and to have it all go in my favor that night was just awesome. I said that I was going to go in there and beat the shit out of that guy. A lot of people thought that I was crazy for saying that. Brett Johns has a long list of guys that he's just whooped up on, and I made him my bitch essentially, with all due respect to him. And it was just awesome, man. I'm just really happy right now.
What was the rest of fight week like for you taking this on? Sure, I know you were in quarantine when we spoke, and I know how horrifying that can be. You just want to get out of the damn room, but you can't until you get that email saying you're clear and ready to go. But the rest of the week, like the weight cut and everything, taking the fight on such short notice, what was that like the rest of the week heading into the fight?
Yeah, fight week sucked, to be honest with you, just because the whole protocols with Corona and all that, there's not much you can do to cut weight, especially right when I got there, which was Sunday. I had quarantine for 24 hours. So I'm in my hotel room and I'm a boatload over, so I'm just shadow boxing, jumping rope in my hotel room, trying to get this damn weight off. So, it sucks. With all the protocols that you need to do. But I mean, if that's necessary to fight, then you got to do it. I went into that fight week knowing that the toughest part about that trip is going to be the weight cut, cutting all that weight in that short amount of time is just a not fun thing to fucking do. But I got it done because I'm a champ like that. And then I performed like one.
How much weight did you actually have to cut? Like when you got to Mohegan on Sunday, what was your weight at?
Well, I know the commission doesn't like it when you cut a ton of weight, and I don't know if they're listening right now. So if I gave a number and they didn't like it, they could fine me. So I'll just say it was around a pound, maybe 2 pounds.
Fair enough. All right, there you go. You came in ready to go, and cutting 2 pounds probably sucks, and I'll let it stand there. This was overall a pretty big deal. Like I knew you felt like this would happen, but it doesn't take away the fact that, Brett's a pretty good name to have on your resume. Does that obviously means something to you, right? Like, or is it not as sweet because you felt that it would go that way? Like expectations to what it feels like now, is it kind of like weighing evenly for you, or how does it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely the feeling that I thought I would have. And it's probably the best feeling that you can have as a fighter, These fighters envision something that they want and they work for it and they train for it and they sacrifice for it. And I did all that. And then you go out there and you actually do it. It's the greatest feeling ever. This is what I wanted. This is the exact type of shit that I work for. And to get it done, to go out there and perform. I just wish that there was fans in there. I'm sure a lot of them would have been booing me, which I love as well. Boo me, that's fine. Go fuck yourselves too. So I wish I had the fans, but anything other than that, it was a perfect trip.
What did you take away from the first Bellator experience? Like outside of the win, was there any part of the ambiance, like getting the introduction in that cage, the stage was there anything that made you feel like, what, that was pretty damn cool?
Yeah, Bellator is very professional. I love fighting for them. I was blown away by everything that they did for us. They treat us like kings over there. I was very happy with that. I kind of had a feeling that was going to be the case because a lot of guys at ATT fight at Bellator. They're always talking about how awesome it is. So I was very looking forward to that. They executed on their end. And then one other thing that I'd say I was a little bit surprised was how calm I was before the fight. Before the fight, in the octagon, when I came into the cage, I was just really calm and just still so confident that I was going to smash this motherfucker. And then when he came in, he came in screaming, and I don't know if you guys could see it on the feed or not, but he was screaming, and that kind of even gave me a little bit more edge, knowing that, you know what, this guy's fucking 17-2, and he's screaming, trying to get himself hyped up like it's a movie. You know, it put more confidence in my mind that, wow, man, I'm calm as a cucumber in here, and he's going berserk. This is my time.
Yeah. Do you think there's a part of that? I mean, I'm not saying like every fighter like listens to all the interviews I do, but there were some clips that came out from that interview that made its way onto Instagram and got a lot of traction and a lot of views. Do you think there's a chance that maybe he saw what you said about him and maybe that fired him up a little more, try to take some of that confidence level down for you a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I talk my trash because it's fun to me, but it's also kind of mind games. It's mental warfare in here as well. I said a couple things to him face to face at the face off that I think got in his mind, and he didn't really know how to handle it. But man, a lot goes into fighting, and a lot goes into the fight before the fight that people don't understand. You know, people are going to be saying, oh, I'm so disrespectful with my trash talk, but they're fucking retarded. They don't get it. You know, they don't understand what's going on here. When I talk my trash, it's a little bit to get in my opponent's head. And I think I got in that guy's head.
What did you say to him when you guys were facing off after the weigh-ins?
I just let him know we should get some fish and chips afterwards.
Okay. Did you get some FaceTime with the big boss after the fight or anybody in the Bellator brass at all?
No, I didn't. I really wanted to talk to Scott Coker and, you know, kind of just formally introduce myself and meet him, see what he thought about the performance and all that. But I'm sure along the line I'm gonna meet him here soon. But yeah, I would love to talk to Scott.
Did Burt Watson get you hyped up?
Dude, Burt Watson is the man. I've never really been around him. I've always heard stories about him, how energetic he is and awesome. Dude, that guy is pumping up the fighters the whole fight week. It's awesome. That guy's my favorite.
He's the man. I was so happy when they brought him on board. It was such a good call, man. Like such a good guy, underrated. And I know a lot of the guys like that were formerly in the UFC that got to work with him that are in Bellator now are just so happy that he's around, man. So that was the first time you really got to like feel that energy from him.
Yeah, and I loved it, dude. I know he might not be everybody's cup of tea, I guess, but he is so passionate and so energetic. Before the face-offs, we're all standing there, and he has given us maybe like a 10-minute hype-up session, and I loved it. I mean, I was like looking around to see if the other fighters were kind of feeling it, and it really, for the most part, seemed like everybody was loving it. I mean, that guy's awesome.
Yes, it was funny because like you were mentioning how some of your teammates at ATT were telling you like, dude, come to Bellator, it's awesome, and like probably 2 or 3 hours after I talked to you, I talked to Austin Vanderford, and he was like, yeah, man, I told him to come. And when he found out that you got the spot, he was like, F yeah. Like, so when you got the opportunity and you both went in there and got wins, like that must've been a pretty cool moment to share that with him, because he was one of the guys that really helped you make that decision. Like, dude, take this Bellator opportunity. You're going to love it.
Yeah, definitely. Austin's the man. He's a really good friend of mine down here. Ever since he moved, I was pretty pumped that he joined the team at ATT. And I'm very happy that he won. I was slamming shots watching him tear that guy up Friday night. That was awesome. But yeah, there's not just him. There's Cody Law. There's Dalton Rosta. There's Johnny Eblin. You know, the list goes on. Sabaho Masi. There's so many Bellator killers at ATT. And we've really all like kind of talked about how much we love this promotion. And the sky's the limit for really all of us. You know, we're all kind of like looking out for each other. We feel like we're a team of killers. I think we went 3-1 because Alex Shabili also won on Friday night. It was another ATT stud. So, you know, ATT's coming to take over Bellator.
I loved watching the fight because Mauro Ranallo was essentially taking the transcripts from our conversation, saying like, look at this guy. He's coming in on his first fight. He's gonna expletive up our champion Sergio Pettis, but he's got to go in there and beat this guy first. And you know, you felt like you could F up most of the guys in this division. And then you took it to Instagram after the fight and you kept your message very simple. And you just said, you're all effed. You're all in big trouble. Like, I'm not going to say that word. If you want to say, go right ahead. But
yeah,
why just those 3 words?
I just want them to know that, man, I'm not messing around. And I know everyone, talks trash at some point. I'm going to keep talking trash because I know how good I am. I didn't even have a fight in the promotion and I'm already calling out the champion. That's probably never been fucking done before. But I say that because it's the truth. And honestly, it's not really even trash talk. I say I'm going to fuck up Sergio Pettis. That's not trash talk. That's just a fact. If we fight, I will fuck that guy up. So I think the whole bantamweight division is fucked because I don't know who I'm gonna fight. I anticipate a lot of guys trying to duck me, but you can only duck me for so long. I don't know who my next fight is against. I don't know who I'm gonna fight in 2 fights or 3 fights. So I'm just letting them all know it doesn't matter which one of you guys it is. You're all fucked.
I saw during the post-fight interview you did with the media, you called out Jornal Lugo and Josh Hill. Is that accurate? And if so, why those 2 gentlemen?
Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to get Sergio or Juan right off the get-go. That's just kind of the way it goes. And then Higo and Darian Caldwell just fought, so I don't really know their timeline. I know a lot of people are pussies and they don't really like fighting actively throughout the year, so they might want to take a little bit of time off. I know Patrick Mix and James Gallagher are having their little pussy ass game of who's going to keep backing out first. So I don't know if they're fighting each other or what. And then just went down the list really that ended up on Josh Hill and Jornal Lugo, because I do want another ranked opponent next fight. I think I deserve another ranked opponent. And those 2 names just made sense, and I also see myself fucking up either of those guys. I didn't want to just call out one person because I figured, what? They're probably going to duck me. So I call out 2 people. Chances are I land one of them. So whichever one of those bitches, it doesn't matter.
You've become like a topic of conversation since our chat last week. Like even in some of the live chats that we've done, people have been asking about you and whether they like you or not. I guess like the question I keep having for anybody is like, no matter who it is, whether it's Sergio or Archuleta or Patchy Mix or any of these guys, if you get these guys on their back, it's going to be so hard for them to get up. Like they can like your style, hate it, no matter what. If you get a guy on the ground, it's going to be very difficult for them to get back to their feet. So like, who can stop that right now? Like, is there anybody in this? And I'm not saying it to like pump your tires or anything like that. I'm just actually curious at this point, like who in this Bellator bantamweight division can get off their back if you're on top of them?
None of them. Nobody can. And I saw Higo's fight. He was fighting off his back that whole fight. He spends more time on his back than my ex-girlfriend. It's crazy. I'm going to take these guys down and they're not going to be able to stop it. And even if I don't take them down because maybe I want to play along on the feet, then they're screwed on their feet. I could fight these guys all on my feet, but the problem is fighting a little bit on the feet is just a little bit more risky. The margin for error on the feet isn't as much as it is on the ground. So I take it to the ground because I know once I take it to the ground, this is a done deal, man. I'm going to smash these fucking guys. They're dead. I take you down, fight's over. Done. You're not getting out. That's it. You're getting punches and elbows to the face, maybe a submission. Doesn't matter. So to answer your question, none of them can stop it. You look at it stylistically, Sergio Pettis, I mean, you could try to sprawl on me. It's just not going to work. Yeah, they're all fucked.
What have you made of Darian Caldwell? I know you mentioned that fight a couple of times, and I feel like with the athleticism he has, some of the gifts that he has that a lot of fighters don't, like he should be, a lot of people feel like he should be a world champion right now, but for some reason there's just something holding him back. Do you have an answer to that question? Like, do you know what might be wrong with him at this point? Like he's so good. Like we've seen flashes of brilliance from him, but it just seems like these last few fights, I don't know, man.
Yeah, he should be better than he is. And especially against a guy like Higo, who kind of sucks, he should be beating that guy. People don't understand how mental this sport is, man. You can have all the physical gifts, but if you don't have it up here, forget about it. It doesn't matter. You're not going to accomplish anything. So, I don't really necessarily want to say what's wrong with his fighting. I don't know, who knows? Nobody has an answer, but it's definitely got to be a little bit mental, but once he figures out the mental side, that guy can be pretty good. He might be second best in the weight class. I don't know, but, yeah, he's got to find it mentally, as do a lot of fighters, man. A lot of people have a lot of talent in this sport, and they just don't have it mentally. And the mental part is the most important part. You know, if you're not confident and you don't have it put together mentally, and you're not ready to go in there for war and accepted all consequences, accepted that you might win, you might lose, you might get knocked out, you might die. Once you accept that, man, it's easy. You go in there, you're calm, but you gotta love shit.
When did you learn that lesson? Is that something like you've always had, or is that something you've had to sort of learn and teach yourself along the way?
Yeah, I've had this my whole life. You know, I've been kind of a fighter my whole life. I've been fighting my whole life. You know, obviously you don't want the dangers to come with the sport, but that's kind of what makes the sport that good, is the dangers that come with it. I've always been kind of a passionate, you know, motivated, energetic type of person. And you could also see that in my fighting. You know, I've just always kind of had that chip. You know, the bottom line is I just love beating the shit out of people. It's really simple.
Any sort of time frame when we're looking to get the sophomore appearance in the Bellator cage?
Yeah, hopefully sooner than later, man. You know, again, I like fighting, and I'm a very active fighter. I like having 4 fights a year. You know, half of fighters are pussies. They fight one time a year, and then they fucking bounce. Who knows where the fuck they go? They don't really like fighting. I love fighting. I want to fight ASAP. I will fight tomorrow. I will fight in the street. Doesn't matter to me. So I'm thinking August. My ideal time frame would be Jornal Lugo or Josh Hill in August. That would be perfect.
There you go. And you've sent the message to the bantamweight division at Bellator already. Danny, congratulations, man. You come on here, you say these things, and some people might have a problem with it, but when you go out there and you back it up the way that you did, there's not much people can say. So congratulations. Can't wait to see it again, man. And when that happens, you got to come back on here. We'll make this sort of a ritual at this point, because if I don't, our producer's going to be very upset with me. So thank you for the time, man. Congratulations on a great performance once again.
Thanks again, bro.